for this day that most investors are trying to make sense of what's going to happen, going forward. But let's look at the color there. And yeah, just like yesterday, we see Bitcoin there carrying most of the green and many pockets of red at this point, showing that investors are trying to find direction, in this market at this point when we're waiting for that most expensive good afternoon coming from the U.S. There. But let's get a check on some of the top stories in the crypto market. I see Bitcoin exchange-traded products saw a surge in investor demand last week, recording a net inflows of about 20,685 Bitcoins, the biggest weekly intake since July 22nd, according to K33 research. The rebound pushed U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF's total holdings to 1.32 million BTC, topping the previous record set at the end of July. Then we see Google, they're partnering with Coinbase. They're pushing further into the world of crypto with a new open source payments protocol that lets AI apps make and receive payments using stable coins in partnership with Coinbase, the Ethereum Foundation, and over 60 other companies. And the initiative aims to build secure, user-approved digital contracts for agents acting on behalf of users. Then we see a Bitcoin whale has risen from the dead after 12 years of long inactivity for that wallet there, and it moved 1,000 Bitcoins worth about $116 million just hours before the U.S. Federal Reserve's key interest rate decision. So I'm sure investors are wondering what's going to happen next. Blockchain data from Look On Chain shows the coins were originally acquired for roughly $847 each. That's about $847,000 in total before being held for over a decade and transferred to new wallets today. What's that whale trying to do? Is it trying to sell? We'll definitely find out. Let's bring in Lumide Additional, our financial market analyst. Hello, Lumide.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. It's been a while, Lumide. Great to have you. And I'm wondering if you are that whale that's woken up after 12 years and moving Bitcoins around.
I hope so. I'll be a billionaire by now. But I think it's been a very exciting period for crypto investors, particularly this year. And while we're waiting for the very important interest rate decision for future guidance, I think we are also awaiting the US CPI data just to understand the macro conditions in the world's most powerful economy. However, I think the market has already priced strong rally, and we've seen Bitcoin ETFs appetite still quite healthy, but concerns still remain. The technology utilization is lower than what a lot of people are looking at. Take a look at Swift. The bookmakers are betting that certain blockchains like XRP should be in place to take over. It seems that that's unlikely because there are bank positions where crypto companies like Ripple should have a bank charter license. So there's still infighting in between traditional and major digital companies. However, I think the proponents for Bitcoin hitting $200,000 in the next year might be unlikely because despite the fact the US Fed is bringing interest rates down, it shows that we are in an asset bubble phase where US stocks all-time high, crypto market all-time high, Nigerian stocks all-time high, while you look conversely at yields, tells you that a lot of trouble with unrealized losses in the US banking space at record high. You also look at the fact that there's high rate of unemployment in frontier and even in the United States recently. So gladly, different macros, different takes, but the reality is that Bitcoin seems powering on and getting the much needed liquidity to stay above $100,000.
Right, and everyone's bracing for the decision today coming up from the U.S. What's your advice for those trying to make that bet, either going long or going short on Bitcoin?
No, I think supported. You look at major currencies against the dollar, tells you that the decision definitely we're expecting a Fed cut 25 basis points. 50 basis points would be a surprise. 50 basis points would definitely Bitcoin above the 120,000 mark. But I think rates are already kind of priced in, so we might see some volatility. But the long take is how the U.S. economy behaves, particularly inflation data. We see an uptick, and how the U.S. Supreme Court interprets Lisa Cook, the Fed governor that was being dismissed by President Trump, how it takes because of the interference. So the dollar has really supported the crypto market. Dollar is down 10%. Any retraction, any change in that definitely will hamper Bitcoin's future rise. But it's not my take to bet against a moving train, Ladi.
You heard it from Olympi. They don't bet against a moving train. But, definitely we'll also be looking at how Stephen Myron's going to vote today. I guess maybe a no-brainer. He'll vote for a cut.
Definitely, the bookmakers are putting that he will be in line with the president that appointed him. Yeah.
Right, definitely. And, they're trying to find out how independent he would be, serving in that seat there. But, generally, I guess whatever happens today, all we care about is what the U.S. Fed chair is going to say about interest rates going forward.
Exactly. And that's why traders are not interested in the headline data, that mean the interest rate decision. They really want to know the outlook, because you look at the U.S. employment data, you look at inflation, it tells you that the U.S. economy is distorting from the normal.
All right, so much to unpack there, but definitely we're watching, we're keeping our eyes on close to see what he does and what he says with our ears. Thank you so much, Lumide Additional, financial market analyst.
Thank you for having me.